Hi everybody, welcome back to the Emerging Author Stage. Our next speaker is from Atlanta. She has worked in public education as a teacher and counselor for over 20 years, and she enjoys spending time with family and friends. Please welcome the author of Remember Joan, Candace Comstock.
Is Candy, and the book that I've written, Remember Joan, is about Joan, who's my mom. And I first want to thank everybody who came from my life to support me here today. It really means a whole lot. So this book, it's about my mother and her struggle with Alzheimer's disease, but it's also about her incredible spirit and my life as her daughter. In the summer of 2007, two major events were occurring at the same time for me. I was preparing for my daughter's wedding for October, and I was caring for my mother who was nearing the end of her life. As an educator, I was on summer break, and I was able to be fully engaged with both of them, very luckily. We'd be talking about appetizers with the caterer one day, and the next day discussing pureed food with the hospital nutritionist. We really wanted Joan to make the wedding, but she did not make it. This was a very difficult time for all of us, but it was a beautiful wedding and she would have loved it. She was a party girl, and I wanted to tell her all about it. So that became the first chapter of my book, starting with the sentence, "You would have loved the wedding, Mom." I've always written things down my whole life. I love books, and I read a lot, mostly funny stuff, real people stuff, character novels. I've always talked about writing my own book one day. So when those events were over and my time was more my own and things settled down, my husband bought me a laptop, and I began with that sentence. And I do have to say at this time that I've been married for 30 years to the most wonderful man in the world. So you can't just write a book about Alzheimer's. It's too sad. And the one thing my mother taught me over and over was that laughter and humor had a big part to play in life. So I wrote about our lives together, the way I saw it as her daughter before her disease. You will meet our family, my grandparents, my father, my brothers, my husband, my children. You will meet our friends. Our family's favorite coping mechanism was always laughter, because our family was flawed, just like everyone else's. I am a high school counselor right now, and the counselor friends who are here today know that we probably became counselors because of our need to be counseled. So the chapters of family stories alternate with the timeline of Joan's decline, the stages of Alzheimer's from her repetitiveness, forgetfulness, confusion, her move to assisted living, the plethora of medications, the visits to the mental institutions, and our experience with hospice are all described. I'm very proud of this book, and if you have a smartphone, you can visit Amazon to read the 29 5-star reviews that are there right now. And I did get a Kirkus review yesterday, just in time for this, so you can look at that too. They're a very tough critic, and it's pretty good. Their first sentence says, "Part memoir, part family history, and driven by love for an absent mother." The last sentence says, "An intimate portrait of an imperfect family offered as a tribute to its late matriarch." I have printed out copies, so when I'm over there, if you want to read them, you can. And I am concluding with something that my daughter said to me the other day, because it's just too perfect. She is working on starting her own family, and I told her how much I wanted to be a grandmother, that I just can't wait. And she looked at me and she said, "You have some big shoes to fill."
Thank you. That was Candace Comstock. Candy will be signing copies of the book at the author sign table.